Alright, what's up YouTube? So, I ordered something different this time. I had problems with the Wormhole Tattoo Company. They're a bunch of dicks. Um, I'd ordered this one here. It's a copy of the Dragon Hawk Atom. And when they advertise it, they show a little detent ball in it. Anyway, so I ordered from a different company. And so it showed up. So here it is here. This is a Hawink company. And this one here could very well be made by the Wormhole company anyways. But yeah, the Wormhole company, they're just a pain in the ass to deal with. And so unfortunately, I think it's because they're like the #1 seller of things on Amazon, so they just don't really care because they're like doing so well. They don't want to help you. So after a bunch of crap, Amazon actually did a return. You can't really tattoo with a tattoo gun and then return it. So what they did was a returnless thing. So let me read what it says on here for you guys. Hawink wireless tattoo kit. So these come, boxed up in cardboard, unlike the Wormhole boxes. So you get a thick cardboard box. Okay. Let's see here. Let me. I hate to just dump this thing out. So we got our caps, some gloves, grip tape. Now they've got some ink too that they send. It looks like it's from the same place. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all this stuff. You can't use this crap. I mean, like, it's I've ordered like so many damn kits. Here's the battery. That I've got lots of ink now. The weird Quieli or whatever needles. The actual machine. Some really thick practice skin. If you watch this channel, you know that I don't use practice skin, I use oranges. Some instructions. Tattoo kit. Like, what is that? Style of writing. And then, of course, some more transfer paper. So, and the instructions are for the older version. So, this is the newer style of power supply. The old version of power supply, you could only go positive, like, whatever number. Okay, give you a cord, which is nice. So, so that's cool. Yeah, this is actually a picture of everything for some other one. But anyway, let's get the machine over here. Wow, look at that. Interesting packaging technique. The cord looks a little bit better than the last one I've seen. One of the wormhole ones, the cords were just like so cheesy, and like, here's an example. You see how thin that is? I have a Dragon Hawk one, and it's like twice as thick. And this is like just begging for issues. So this looks kind of cool. I guess we just slide it out of there. See a condom for the deal. It's heavy. It's got the positive detent. Yep, that's how they're supposed to be. So this is what was missing on the wormhole, and the problem with the wormhole was they showed it in the picture, but it didn't ship with it. So what happens if they don't have this? You'll be tattooing, and this thing will move around on you. You need to have that. So this is cool. It's probably made by them though, but I don't know if this thing's going to be charged or not. Cool. It's a little bit bulky, but the fact that this is kind of heavy, so you can go, let's see here, at 6, 6.5, 7, 5. You go all the way to 5. So now the other one had like a, in the wormholes they have like a little button up here. And you go 5 volts, 6 volts, 7 volts, and you want to be able to go halfway in between at least. That's pretty cool. I like that. This was considerably cheaper than everything else. It was like $39. A lot of times the wormhole you want $39 for just a machine. And if after you've gotten a few kits, you know what I mean, like in my case, I'm starting to stack them up. But after you've gotten a few kits, you end up with a bunch of foot switches, a bunch of foot pedals, a bunch of bottles of ink, and you don't need one more cheap power supply. So the deal was I wanted a replacement for this pen that has to have tape on it. So I wonder how long this stays lit. So I decided to buy this for $39 because it came with a battery, which allows me to be able to sit here without having a foot switch, without having to hold the foot switch down, without a wire in my way. So let me show you here. This one I was going to mention. This is a Dragon Hawk. Here is the wormhole. As you can see, it's about half as thick on the wire. I mean, the wire might be really small inside the Dragon Hawk also, but at least you've got plenty of insulation. Another thing Wormhole likes to do is send you the little metal, like, flat piece foot switch that really sucks. So I think this is looking like it might be a good deal. Like I said, after the way that Wormhole treated me, and this one was ordered directly from them, not through a reseller. So I contacted them because I'd already used it, and I had heard stories about people trying to return tattoo equipment on Amazon. And then so what would happen is Amazon would get their return, and they would say, we can't accept your return because it's used tattoo equipment, it is unsanitary, and then they won't refund the account. And then when you contact them and say, okay, well, can I have the item back? We threw it out. So what ends up happening is you pay for something, you return it, you lose the item, and you lose your money. So I contacted the seller and said, look, there's a picture of this ball in here, and it's not on this one. So, is this available with it? Is it an older version? Is it a newer version? You know, is it possible to get the correct one that's in the picture? And they told me, it's an error in the picture. And that's kind of all they said. So I said, well, I'm looking at some of your other machines that you have for sale. Can you tell me if any of the other ones are missing this feature, or if the pictures are not accurate? And so they're like, after quite some time, they said, oh no, all the other ones are fine. And I told them, I said, well, I don't really want to return this because I can't, because it's been used. So what I want is, some solution to this problem. I don't want to have tape on this thing. So they said, well, since you like the kit and don't want to return it, we'll offer you $2. I told them, I said, what am I going to do with $2? He said, $2 isn't going to, I can't add the problem, I can't repair it or change it or modify it for $2, And so they didn't respond, and then like 24 hours went by, and so I sent him another message. I said, look, what are you going to do about the problem here? Because I didn't want to accept their $2. I said, your picture is false advertising. I said, I can make a video and show everybody on Amazon and write a review and let everybody know that you're using false advertising. And so then after I left the review, I reported the seller, and then I called Amazon, and I was on the phone with Amazon, and they said that they looked at the messages, and it seemed like the seller wasn't trying to work with me. We're going to do a returnless refund. And so that's what Amazon did. And a few hours later, I went back into my messages to check to see if the refund had been issued. And I noticed I had a message from the seller, and they somehow made it look like it was sent a couple of minutes after my last message to them. And it said, something to the effect that we're so sorry, and we need to contact our company, and but we would like to, if you agree to it, pick out a few tattoo pens for you and let you pick one. It sounded like it was contingent upon some other type of approval, but it's like they put the message in there after I got off the phone with Amazon and then backdated the time. So I have just ignored their message, because what will happen is if I make any kind of agreement with them, then the payment will be valid, I think. And, there's no such thing as a free lunch. So I get to keep this. Just put tape on it so the depth doesn't change. And, they're going to refund my account. The seller didn't want to do anything until I called Amazon. So it is what it is. So I think I'll try this out in a little bit, but I think that this would be probably a pretty good machine to check out. In fact, actually, I probably can actually demo it really fast. So let me pause the video. I'll put the camera on the tripod. I'll bust out an orange, and we'll run a couple lines. Well, I guess before I do that too, we should probably, so this is a good review, we should probably open this box. I like how they sealed the box. The ones that came from the other place are not sealed. Professional tattoo equipment seal. I just always like a seal on something, even though, they can change them. I don't know who this Assyrian-looking king is. What is nice about these is that every single one is marked. The wormholes, let me see if I have any laying around. The wormholes, they're only marked on one. Yeah, those are tips. Those aren't. Anyway, here's an example right here. And one off of the package of the wormholes. We don't know what this is. We have to take it out and look at the number, or you know, because there's a number stamped on the piece. So anyway, so these have a clear tip. There's plastic. There's a little bit of a window in here. It's got like a much more positive looking lock on it. 3 round liners. Since I'm practicing on oranges, I'm trying not to reuse these. Or sorry, not reuse. Keep using new ones. 5 round liners. And let's see what it is. Now this is new because, like, you know, I've been doing this for a long time. 7RM. Well, back in the day, 7RM meant a 7 round mag. So a 1207 would be 12 gauge 7 round mag. But they're not round. They're flat. So it's just a plain Magnum. And then this says 9 mag. 9. This is 1009 M1. So these would be the 10 gauge 9 mag. There's no RM on here. So I'm not 100% sure what the people were doing, labeling these as RMs. I don't know that that's correct. Maybe it's a Chinese thing. Because, see, I started tattooing in the 90s and then tattooed in prison for a number of years and got out 10 years later. So when I got out in 2004 and started tattooing, a lot of the stuff wasn't coming from China. And so, I don't know. Anyway, let's pause the video. I'm going to set up the machine and we'll tattoo a orange. Maybe even went to the trouble to supposedly copyright this. Kind of interesting. Something I don't see very often with Chinese stuff. 10/22 to 2027. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, so anyway, we need to get this thing hooked up. I'm gonna actually try out one of these 9 mags because I don't have 9 mags for one of these. So I keep thinking, I'm like, oh, I need to hook it up to the power supply. No, I've got a battery, so I'm good to go. So we just need to go get our orange and pour some of this ink. I've been trying to use up all this stuff. I got, you know, all these bottles. I've got more. I've got like 3 or 4 sets of ink, and you know, I'm not gonna put any of this in anybody else's skin. I'm not gonna use it on my own skin. We don't know what's in this stuff. There's no way. You don't know what's in here, and the way that it dries up, to me, it dries up a little bit differently than what I've seen before. I mean, honestly, like, I would use, you know, something like this before I ever used any of this other stuff. This is Black India ink, Dollar Roni, and it is, it says, oh, interesting, something tinted China, but it says that I know I've got one made in England, but it says Tinta China. I don't know why it would say that on there in some kind of weird language. Okay, so when I'm practicing, I just keep saving these, clean them up really good because they do get clogged after a while. This is a 5 round liner, and okay, so we turn it on, and then we can see what's our stick out going to be, and just adjust it until it's something looks good. You can hang it out further than that, but so let me get my orange. I got my bag of oranges. And this was a huge bag. I've been working on it for about a week or two. But you can do a lot more with this than you can with this. And this isn't going to mimic human skin or have the contour that you need to learn to practice. This is soft, kind of. And it will tear just like human skin if you overwork it. Okay, let's see if we're good. Okay, what should we tattoo, people? So we'll try to, it's kind of a little bit chunky on this thing. Okay. We just do our typical, like, let's do flames. There we go, people. I usually get kind of elaborate with my shading, so I'll take something that doesn't look all that interesting and shade it. The grip on this thing is a little bit too big for me. I don't like it. I can tell you that right now. It's too big. It's making it really hard for me to work with it. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'll get used to it. Yeah, I don't have real big hands. I mean, that's just ridiculous. It's like too much. The thing looks like a freaking dildo. Okay, let's take this off of here. Okay, this is too big, unfortunately. Just a little bit too much. This one here I really like. It's just like pretty comfortable. Okay. This machine runs so smooth. Almost kind of slow, actually. So, 6.5. Let's see if this one, how it handles. Seems to work fine with this battery. It is really nice to not have that cord in the way. I mean, like, I can't even tell you. And when you touch this thing, it stops, and it kind of like, I think it pauses. And then if you long press it, it turns itself off. This is very cool. I dig it. The machine, It's just too big. Like, it's just a little bit too big. Just, it's almost okay. It's just, I don't know. And then, if you wrap this thing up, oh my god. This is, to me, this isn't really comfortable. Like, I don't know. I mean, you look at like this. This is what's comfortable to me. And you look at how much bigger this is. This is like a 30 or 35 millimeter. This thing's freaking huge. So, we will try this on this one, I guess. And to be fair, I guess I need to use that. Which is fine, then we can leave our needle on the other one. So this is it has a 9 something on there. Okay, you guys can see it. So looks pretty normal. Put it in here, twist it until it locks. Seems like it locks pretty good, but maybe not as good as the wormholes. This also feels like maybe, I don't think it will pop out. If you have an issue with these popping out, you can always put some tape on them or something. These definitely aren't as tight in there, I don't think. So 6 volts. It automatically goes to 6 volts every time you start it. 6.5. And let's see here. Try not to hit the bottom of the ink cup. The tip on this is actually really quite nice. I can see the ink, and I can sit here and go, oh, okay. It's actually peppering really nice. Let's do something else, like get in here and fill something with it. I don't know how well you guys can actually see me with the camera. I try really hard not to bump the ink up, because every time you do that, you tax the needles. You do it too many times and the needles get dull. Okay. It is kind of weird not letting off my foot switch. Let's get a wipe out of here. Before we wipe it, I'll show you what I did. Okay. So it filled that really quick. So anyway, seems to work. I don't know about the cartridges. Let's take out the cartridge real quick. We'll put it in this one. See how it feels. Yeah, they're, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm not sure what I think. They look pretty similar. I do like how the other one has a larger opening. I'm not sure why this is so closed up, but it is. These are also two-piece. I'm not sure if there's a reason they do that, but there's more pieces here. One here, one here, one here. Anyway, that's all I got for today on this one. So, get an orange, tattoo it, play around, get good before you practice on yourself.